Hi everyone, welcome to ITLS Academy, and this is Dr. Anita Srivastava, and today I'm going to talk about microbial enzymes lecture 2, which is in continuation with the previous lecture on microbial enzymes. And I will just brief about the previous video in which we discussed about the enzymes, about the importance of the microbes in the production of these enzymes at industrial scale, and especially here we are talking about the industrial microbiology. So these microbial enzymes, they play a crucial role in the development of the product. Then we talked about different kind of microorganisms involved in this process, and the different product that has been formed, and uh, it- basically the market of the microbial enzymes, and the project and the future prospects related to these microbial enzymes. So now basically the rationale or the importance of this topic is, as we are using enzymes in industries, but these enzymes, they actually have includes, like we say, when we say we are talking about some in purification processes, or some other industrial processes that has been carried out. So it adds to the cost of the product. So basically, when we talk about any industrial product, it is very important to know about the cost cutting. So everyone focuses to just to just cut down the cost. And as we I would just brief what is about the enzymes that we talked about. So we all know that an enzyme, it is derived from an organism or cell culture which catalyzes metabolic reaction in living organisms or substrate conversions in various chemical reactions. And then the enzymes, they are the potential catalyst which works under mild temperature, pressure, pH, substrate specificity, under suitable reaction conditions, and for the production of desired products without any intermediate product as contaminations. For these advantages, they are used in variety of applications, as we talked about in the last lecture. They have been widely used in the cosmetic industry, paper industry, textile industry, food industry, pharmaceutical, laundry, detergents, and they are also very much used in the healthcare products also. These enzymes, they are playing a very crucial role. And secondly, the biotechnical method for producing the microorganisms for these enzymes, it is expensive. Therefore, new methods have been explored and they are implemented just to reduce the cost. As I just talked about, that cost is a very important factor that have a very effective impact on any process. So it is every time efforts are being made to just cut down the cost of any product. So using those enzymes is actually means basically during the downstream processing, during the purification of the enzymes or the recovery, it adds a lots of cost in the process. And apart from that, there are certain other limitations such as low stability, these enzymes, they're highly sensitive to the process conditions. So just to look for an alternative, like just to improve this process from the cost perspective, a method, that is immobilization of enzyme or cells, it can be used just to overcome these problems that are met during this industrial processes. So different immobilization techniques are being used, and in this topic, here we are going to talk about immobilization of cells, and the products related to it. So if I just go through these topics which we are going to cover. These are immobilization. We are going to talk about immobilization, different methods of immobilization, then industrial microbial enzymes which are used in immobilized forms. Then we are going to talk about the application of immobilized enzymes. Then commercial microbial enzyme production. So these are the basic outlines which we are going to discuss in this lecture. Now, if we define immobilization, so immobilization, it can very simply be defined as the confinement of enzyme molecules within a support or matrix, whether physically or chemically, or we can say in both ways, in such a way that it retains its full activity or most of its activity. So basically, if we say it as the confinement of enzyme, in other words, simple words, we can say imprisonment of the enzyme. And the important factor that is to be basically considered is that after the immobilization or during any immobilization process, the activity means the immobilization should not be compromised with the activity. So this is very important that it retains its full activity or most of its activity. Then an immobilized enzyme is an enzyme that is attached to an inert insoluble material. So basically, the chemicals or the matrices which we are going to use for immobilization of any enzyme, it is important that it should be inert and insoluble material. This can provide increased resistance to changes in conditions such as pH or temperature. So the matrices or the support which we are going to use, they should be resistant to the changes in the factors like pH or temperature. Means they should have some stability against pH or temperature. Now, how these immobilized enzymes can be beneficial? So these are some beneficiary features of the immobilized enzymes which we are going to talk about. So enzymes which are more expensive to produce, including many intracellular microbial enzymes and those employed in biosensors and analytical test systems. They're often used in an immobilized form. So, as we all know that when we talk about any intracellular microbial enzyme, so an additional step of getting that intracellular enzyme into the media is basically taking some cost, and it becomes an important even a step, because once the enzyme is intracellular, so that intracellular enzymes, those cells has to be like they have to be using different processes like sonication or French press. We have to break those cells, then we can get that enzyme. So this is also something which industries just want to avoid these processes. So now here we can use the immobilized these enzymes, like they can be used in immobilized form. For like these immobilized enzymes, they have reusability. Reusability means these immobilized enzymes, they can be reused. Once they are used for a single process, then they can be used in the second cycle also, in the other cycles. Second thing, suitability for application within continuous operations. Like if the process is in continuous mode, then it is suitable for application in the continuous processes. The product is enzyme free, and the product which is obtained by the process using the immobilized enzymes, So that product is actually enzyme free and it has less number of undesired products as a result of the enzyme substrate reaction. And therefore, when this product is enzyme free, therefore further processing to remove or inactivate the enzyme, it is not required. Then we have improved enzyme stability. As I said, when the enzyme is immobilized, it has the improved stability, like in terms of we are talking about the like it is more pH stable and more temperature stable. Reduced effluent disposable problems, and we can say that this using these immobilized enzyme, it reduces the effluent disposable problem since the product is enzyme free, and we can say that the impure or the undesired product is also less in this case, so it reduces the effluent disposable problems. With every advantages there are some disadvantages also. So when we talk about some different disadvantages of immobilized enzymes, these they can be just discussed as like their uses in industrial applications are limited. Loss of catalytic properties in some enzymes. So first point, as uses in industrial applications are limited, as we all know that in industries we are using the process at basically the scale up processes, or we say it is on the large scale. And when an immobilization process is taking place, so there are so many points which has to be looked for. And basically, although the companies like industries, they are using free enzymes, and because like when we talk about, as I'll discuss in later about the different immobilization techniques, so within that techniques they have certain like disadvantages, like when we talk about the entrapment or adsorption. So in entrapment there are uh, basically more chances for the leaching of the enzymes. So just looking to all these problems at the industrial scale, the uses becomes somewhat limited. Then loss of catalytic properties in some enzymes means uh, basically, as we all know that after the immobilization of enzymes, some enzyme activity is reduced. So with that way also the industries don't want to compromise with this property. Then some enzymes become stable, and during the process or during different cycles usage, the enzymes becomes unstable. Leaching possibilities during entrapment, as I said that during entrapment leaching process possibilities are there, so therefore also it makes this process limited. Then enzymes are inactivated by heat generated in the system, and this is also a very important factor or disadvantage, that the enzymes are inactivated and thus reduces the enzyme activity in presence of the heat which is generated during the system. Then diffusional limitations. Obviously, once the enzyme is entrapped or like adsorbed, the diffusion between the substrate and the enzymes also becomes limited. So it also affects the enzyme performance. And last, additional cost, because immobilization of the enzyme also adds to some costs. So this might be some disadvantages, but actually it depends upon different process, like as we said that immobilized enzymes just reduces the they may reduce some cost of the processes. But talking about these disadvantages, like they're also, but it depends, like that is something like technological basically technological evaluation, that what kind of additional cost is adding during the immobilized enzyme, and what type of cost is added during the use of the free enzyme. So it totally depends upon the process which we are going to use. Now when we talk about different matrices, so natural polymers, When we talk about the natural polymers or the matrices used in immobilization, we are talking about the alginate, chitosan, and chitin, collagen, that is proteinaceous support, and then we have carrageenan, gelatin, cellulose, starch, pectin. So this alginate, it is derived from algal cell wall, and which is actually calcium or magnesium alginate. Then enzyme binds to the OH groups. Collagen is proteinaceous support. Carrageenan, it is a sulfated polysaccharide that is obtained from algae. Then gelatin, which is a partially hydrolyzed collagen, good water holding capacity it has. And cellulose, it is the cheapest support available. And starch, it is a good water holding capacity. Then when we talk about the pectin, it has a good water holding capacity also. Now talking about the synthetic polymers used in immobilization. So they are basically the ion exchange resins or polymers, and they are insoluble supports which porous surface. Then porous surface, they trap and hold the enzymes or cells. So basically the examples of the synthetic polymers which are used in immobilization techniques, they are polyvinyl chloride, DEAE cellulose, and UV activated polyethylene glycol, that is PEG. Now, when we talk about the inorganic matrices or the materials which are used in immobilization, they are silica, zeolite, charcoal, activated carbon, cellite, ceramics, and glass. So all these inorganic materials, they are also used in basically in the immobilization of enzyme, depending upon what kind of enzyme we are going to immobilize. Now, methods of immobilization. When we talk about the methods of the immobilization, there are different types of immobilization techniques, that is adsorption, covalent bonding, entrapment, copolymerization, and encapsulation. So talking about here, we can see the basically the methods which I said about adsorption. So here we can see that the support and the enzyme, it is absorbed on the surface of the support of the solid support. And when we talk about the cross-linking process, so here we see that the cross-linking is formed between the enzyme and the support. Then covalent bonding. Here the enzyme is forming a covalent bond between the support and the enzyme. The entrapment. So here from the figure we can see that enzyme is entrapped within the matrix. And encapsulation, the enzyme is encapsulated. The enzyme is encapsulated in the matrix or the immobilization support we are using, and here we have a which has a semi-permeable membrane. Now here, this is the immobilization techniques or the methods, support materials, cells and reactions which we talk about. So when we talk about the absorption, the support material we are taking as gelatin, porous glass, cotton fibers, DEA cellulose, and the cells which are widely used is lactobacilli, Saccharomyces, Zymomonas, Nocardia. And the reaction which is performed like in lactobacilli, when we use the gelatin lactose into lactic acid, using the Saccharomyces in presence of this porous glass glucose into ethanol. So basically these are used in the ethanol fermentation. And when we use nocardia and using DEA cellulose, this is used for the steroid conversion. In covalent bonding, we can say Acetivaceae and Acetobacter is used, and they are used in the synthesis in the production of the ethanol as well as in the production of the vinegar. And here we are using titanium oxide in case of Acetobacter for the vinegar synthesis, and here cellulose for ethanol fermentation using Acetivaceae. Now, when we talk about the cross-linking, glutaryaldehyde is used as a support material using the cells of E. coli and in the production of fumaric acid. And here also we can see entrapment is used in the formation of the phenol degradation vessel as well as the ethanol production using the strains like E. coli, Candida tropicalis and Acetivaceae. And in case of encapsulation, we can see the material used is polyester and alginate polylysine in the production of the fructose and monoclonal antibodies with the use of the Aceribacillus, Streptomyces and Hybridoma cells. So there are some important industrial microbial enzymes which are used in the immobilized form, and they are aminoacylase, amyloglucosidase, glucose isomerase, invertase, lactase, lipase, naringenase, nitrile hydratase, penicillin, mallebiase and thermolysine. So we can see from this table, we can see different sources that are being used in case of these enzymes and the role or the product which they are forming. Like for example, we can see that L-amino acid is produced by aminoacylase in the presence of Aspergillus oryzae, and glucose production from starch we can see Aspergillus niger. Glucose isomerase enzyme is used from Actinomyces misrolensis for the high fructose corn syrup. So basically here we can just see all other product that are being formed using the enzymes, and they are being used in the immobilized form in certain industries. Now when we compare between different kinds of immobilizing techniques, we can see that different factors which we are taking is on the basis of the preparation, binding forces, enzyme activity, regeneration of the carrier, cost of immobilization, stability, general applicability, protection of enzyme from microbial attack. So here in case of when we talk about the cross-linking, the preparation is intermediate where it is simple in case of physical ionic and chelating metal binding, and this is somewhat difficult in case of covalent binding and entrapment. Now talking about the binding force also, the binding force is strong in cross-linking, but it is weak in physical adsorption, and it is intermediate in ionic bonding as well as entrapment, whereas it is strong in case of covalent binding. Enzyme activity is high in case of ionic, chelating and covalent, whereas it is low in case of entrapment and cross-linking, and intermediate in physical adsorption. So degeneration of carrier, it is possible in case of this physical ionic and chelating, and impossible in case of cross-linking as well as the entrapment, whereas it is rare in case of covalent binding. And cost of immobilization, this is very important. So cost of immobilization low in case of physical adsorption, ionic binding, and and it is intermediate in cross-linking, chelating as well as entrapment, but it is high in covalent bonding. And talking about the stability, it is high in case of cross-linking, covalent and entrapment, whereas it is low in physical adsorption. Then general applicability, yes, there is general applicability for physical adsorption, ionic binding, chelating agent and entrapment, but it is not applicable for this covalent binding and cross-linking. And protection of enzyme from microbial attack, there's no protection in case of all the techniques except for entrapment, and it is possible for cross-linking. So now when we come to the application of the industrial enzyme, these immobilized enzyme, they're used in industrial production of antibiotics, beverages, amino acids, etc. And they have a biomedical applications in the treatment, diagnosis, and drug delivery. Now, food industries, when we talk about the food industry, it is used in the production of jams, jellies, and syrups. And it also plays an important role in the production of the biodiesel from vegetable oils. Then when we talk about the wastewater management, it is also used in the treatment of sewage and industrial effluent. And we talked a lot about the textile industry in the previous lecture, like it helps in scoring, biopolishing and designing of fabrics. And in detergent industry also immobilization, especially when we talk about immobilization of lipase, which have effective dirt removal. So basically this is all about the immobilized enzyme which I talked about.